ironic that she finds out how to kill with cherries? Wayne always had cherries in his refrigerator. How did I not kill him?
Welcome back to Mother Knows Best Sometimes. I'm Charlie and I'm here with my mom, Patty.
Hi.
I'm Mindy and I'm here with my mom, Denise.
Hi.
And if you can hear it in my voice, I have a little bit of a cold. So we thought it would be the perfect day to talk about home remedies and / like old wives' tales. So does anybody want to go? I actually have one that I think I want to go first because it's relevant to my like little cold that I
Yeah.
have. It's not my personal one. Like I didn't make it up. I actually got this from, it's like she's my mom's best friend, and I happen to be really good friends with her too. Her name's Beatrice, and she calls it the inhalation technique, is what she calls it. And once she told me about this, it has never failed me, not one time. Me, Nate, like when I've told people to do it, like it just does not fail me. It's so good. Where she's from, they have a lot of eucalyptus, like wild eucalyptus plants. And she told me that they take the leaves and like, I don't know if they crush them up or just boil it, but they boil a big pot of water and you get a big bowl. You have to take all your clothes off, get a big bowl of boiling water, and it has to be like, boiling. Put the eucalyptus leaves into the water. Then you get under a big blanket, like a thick blanket underneath with this, boiling water and the eucalyptus, and it creates like a sauna. And here, like you can do it because there's not like eucalyptus just growing everywhere. You just use eucalyptus oil and you just put 1 or 2 drops in it. And I think she says you have to go for 15 minutes and then you have to shower immediately after. And it creates like a mini sauna. And when I tell you, you get drenched, I mean, just completely. And I'm more used to it now, but whenever I first started, it was like I couldn't take it. Like it would be so hot. Like I'm like at 8 minutes, I was like, I can't breathe. But you have to push through. And it's almost like this like detox of like getting all like it clears everything out. And it works every single time. Like I'm sick, it makes me feel better. When my mom and dad had COVID, they'd been feeling sick for a few days and I came down. The first thing I did was have them do it. And my dad had not even spoken for a whole day because how sick he was. And that was the first time he spoke after he did it. He said, I think this is the first thing that like has helped made me feel better. And that's all her thing. She told me that. I think, they do that where she's from. And it has to be the whole, some people say, oh yeah, I do that over the stove where I just like heat it up. No, it needs to be the full body to get the full, effect. It doesn't do the same thing when it's just like your face. It has to be everything.
Was you sick when you did it? Because I remember you doing it on the floor.
Yeah, I did it because Charlie told me to do it, and I I thought she was exaggerating with like the, oh, you're drenched in sweat. There was literally a puddle of sweat on the floor where I was because of
Yeah.
how much you sweat.
And why you needed to be well?
It was I had like I don't even know what I had. It was some kind of like eye cold or something. My eyes were like swollen and like red and like mucusy. And then when I was Googling the symptoms, they said it was an eye cold. And so I was like, okay, that's
I remember walking in on her doing it. Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird looking.
I'm like sitting on the like
yeah.
she just sees the blanket.
And she was drenched.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was,
Yeah. That's how it works. It's like a sauna. I mean, like there's health benefits to a sauna, right? Like, you go to a gym or like whatever, they have that. It's like the same thing. And I think the eucalyptus has like I don't know, you can Google it, like antibacterial or antiviral. I can't remember what it has, but it has those properties. So it kind of like, the same thing of like rubbing Vicks Vapor Rub on your chest. It's kind of like a similar type of thing. But you got to shower after. And then make sure you hydrate after too, because you sweat so much. You need to like, make sure you hydrate. But I mean, and she told me, she really pushed me to do it because I was like, okay. But then she's like, you have to do it. And every time it works to the point that Nate, was also skeptical and he did it and he'll be like, I need to do, he calls it Beatrice's thing. He's like, I need to do Beatrice's thing. Like, yeah, it's like, yeah, it's
I would
amazing.
think it sounds like it like cleans out every pore too. So you don't have to do it just when you're sick, huh?
Yeah, you could probably do it as like a little reset. I mean, that's what people go to the sauna, like just to
Yeah.
if you feel better and kind of, you know. So I'm doing it tonight actually when we get off this call. My
Okay.
my
We
little
should-
colds.
Yeah, we should do another thing tomorrow, but I work, so I can't. But it'd be neat to see the recovery.
Results, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Beatrice is kind of like a second mother, huh?
Yes, she always, yeah. And she always has some type of home remedy for she'll be like, take this and do that. Like and she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Our neighbor, Miss Marie, she's gone now, but she was Puerto Rican and she was from Puerto Rico, and she used to always have, if you had something wrong, she had some form of home remedy for you.
Mm.
Now I'm trying to think of some, but I'm drawing a blank. But she did. She always had some kind of weird home remedy for.
And they work, I feel like.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of other countries, especially like Central America, has a lot of more natural remedies for things versus I feel like the United States is just like medication, medication, medication.
Yeah. But look at home remedies. Now my mom is 92. Her uncle, okay, he couldn't pee, which I'm guessing back then it was a kidney stone. But she said she remembers that when she was little, her uncle, when he couldn't pee, he would go in the woods and get the tar from pine trees, roll it into balls, and eat them until it went away. Isn't that weird? Now I'm guessing, I'm guessing that it was a kidney stone, and maybe he was going to pass it anyway. And he just went through the agony of it. But yeah, pine tar from
And
a
eat
pine
it.
tree and eat it. Yes.
Oh,
I don't think that's
And-
something I'd be willing to try.
No, right. That is something you'd be
No,
willing.
it
Oh,
wouldn't.
no.
I'm not willing.
She had an aunt that was some kind of deficiency in something, but she would eat a spoonful of the ashes that came out of the fireplace when they had a fire at night.
No, that
Why?
seems like a problem.
why did she do that?
She was deficient in some mineral or vitamin, but she remembers her aunt would eat just a spoonful of and she said it was coal, but it was probably, the ashes or whatever, but she would eat that.
Keep in mind, Granny is 92, so her
92.
aunt and uncle would have, these people this is probably 130 years ago.
Yeah, they would do this. But if you think about it, like now they have the coal, the what is it?
Charcoal?
Charcoal, they do
Yeah.
the charcoal
Yeah.
things. And I'm
Mhm.
guessing whatever it was, they were doing it the long way around or whatever.
Yeah.
Charcoal.
Or the
Eating
original
charcoal
way.
straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the original way, yeah.
A spoonful every time they had a fire at night.
Charlie looks horrified.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. That's like carcinogens. I feel like that's like
Yeah.
cancerous.
Yeah,
Straight up. I feel
Yeah,
like.
and wait, because I asked her before. Now we still do the baking soda and water if we have indigestion or heartburn. If you
Oh,
ain't got
okay.
nothing like an antacid, baking soda and water. And even growing up, when we got poison oak or poison ivy, it was white shoe polish she put on us. White shoe polish would go on the rash.
Oh, you did that to me when
Yeah,
I was a
we
kid.
did.
I remember when I
We
had
still-
poison. We had a little it was a
We
white
still have it in the, we keep it.
white shoe polish and it had a little squishy like top, and I remember thinking it was like some kind of like ointment or something, putting it all on the
Poison oak or poison ivy.
and then I think it was probably when I was older that I actually saw the bottle and I was like, white shoe polish.
Doesn't that have a strong smell?
No.
Oh.
And you're white. It's not like calamine. It's not going to blend into your skin. You are white.
And it's kind
I
of like
would think-
it hardens,
But it
a
dries
little
it
bit.
out. It dries
Yeah.
it. It dries out the.
I would think that would be hard on the skin.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah, I would think so too, but I mean, it got rid of it and
Yeah,
did its
it got rid of
job.
That's funny. I kind of always assumed that was a well-known thing. Like
Yeah.
I'm surprised that y'all are like, oh.
And when you
white
think
shoe
about it, when I
polish.
look back, I think, oh, it's a wonder. Luckily, we wasn't blood poisoned, because it's shoe polish, getting into
Yeah.
those pussy blisters, but it didn't happen. And, it dried out the blisters. And yeah, I can remember when we was little, measles, white shoe polish. You get any rash except on your hiney, white shoe polish. White shoe polish.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best thing now for any form of rash in your life, even fever blisters, is Boudreaux's butt paste. And they sell it at the Boudreaux's butt paste is the best stuff in the world for any rash you get, and fever blisters as well. I had a girl come up to me in Dollar General when I was checking out. She had a mask on because it was COVID, but she pulled her mask down to show me this huge, ugly fever blister. And I only know about fever blisters because my mama has always had them, and her sons have fever blisters. My sister gets them if she gets a real high fever. It's like the inside your body gets hot, and then fever blisters. I don't get fever blisters. Mindy's had one in her life, huh? One. Abriva's the best nowadays. If you can, $23, Abriva will knock it out in a, yeah, it's high. But
For like a
if
tiny
you
tube.
for a tiny tube, but Boudreaux's butt paste is just as good, but it's slower acting than Abriva. But
Mhm,
Boudreaux's butt paste for $7, you get a big old tube. But
mhm.
yeah, it's phenomenal, that product.
I'm curious why she felt the need to remove the mask to show your
I was
feet.
thinking.
Oh, because she wanted to know. Okay, she was this this little girl was going somewhere that night, and she wanted to know if I knew of anything that would take that swelling down immediately.
So she was
And
just interviewing customers as they checked
no,
out.
I don't know. I guess because I don't. I assume.
My mom worked there at the time.
No, but no, I
Oh.
didn't. I was
Oh,
checking
never
out.
mind,
I was
never mind.
checking
No, she
out. I was
didn't.
checking out. I guess because I was just some tall white lady. I don't know. And I was much older than her. So
Everything comes back to being tall.
yeah,
Who's tall? I'm tall. Of course
yeah,
I
I was
know.
tall white
Probably
old
thought
lady.
I knew what I was talking about. I was
I'm a
tall.
tall white old lady, and she came and I told her, I said, Abriva is the best, and she couldn't afford it. And looking back, as soon as I walked out the store and got in my car and left, I kicked myself in the ass for not buying her Abriva, okay? But she didn't have the money for Abriva, and I told her, I said, the best thing you can buy that is a cheap, much cheaper than Abriva. I said, is Boudreaux's butt paste. You buy Boudreaux's butt paste and go home and put that on there, and that will work. I said, but I don't know if it'll get that swelling down before tonight. She had an event coming up. But and I can, and it's like hindsight. It's like you look back and it's like $23 ain't nothing to me.
Yeah.
Why didn't I buy that girl? For all I know, Dollar General didn't have a Breva. They might not have had it. But
for something like that, you're right. $23.
yes, and and she was
Gonna help somebody.
a strange girl asking me. I should have just said, give me that. Let me put it in my, But I told but Boudreaux's butt paste. If you can't afford a Breva, Boudreaux's butt paste is the next best thing,
What about y'all? What are some home remedies? Or Miss Patty, what are some that you have?
or some helpful things like Boudreaux's butt paste.
Well, I remember, I don't know if y'all remember, but you remember we went and spent that weekend in Thomas?
Mhm.
The whole group. And
Mhm.
Charlie, you remember how sick you were? And
Oh.
Daddy, and we thought we were gonna have to cancel it.
Oh, that's when I had the flu. Yes.
And Daddy too. And I gave y'all apple cider vinegar, honey, and lemon in equal parts, and I mixed it with hot water. And by the next day, y'all were ready to go. Everything was
That
gone.
does
Vinegar and
work.
honey's a really good thing.
Yeah,
That
honey's
does work.
antibacterial,
Yeah.
antifungal, something else.
It's hard to drink a
Viral.
little bit to me because of the apple cider vinegar,
It
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
but it does
Yeah.
work. Like when I make it sometimes, it does make me feel better because all that. And you also put ginger in yours. You never put it in mine because I really don't like ginger.
And cayenne. I put ginger and cayenne, but I
But
didn't do
ginger's
it
good
with
for you
ginger.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that does actually work. It's just a little hard to drink.
They all have their certain jobs to do in that, which is why I combined. I had heard about the honey, lemon, and apple cider vinegar, but then I knew about the properties in ginger and cayenne and garlic. But it's hard to get people to drink that. But I'll do that. If
can
I
get
get sick,
garlic
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I eat a lot of raw garlic, and I've always been able to keep my blood pressure, even as a heavier person, my blood pressure under control. And I think it's, my blood pressure has never been
Yeah.
ridiculously high. And I think
You
it's
take
because
garlic pills?
no, I eat the raw garlic.
Ugh. Yeah.
She
I
loves
eat
garlic.
See?
it,
You don't
but I
stay?
love it. I love it. I don't know, because I don't go anywhere. It's just my husband and I. And if I eat it, I give it to him. And if he doesn't eat it, he says he can smell it. But if he eats it, neither one of us can smell it on each other.
They will
But
literally make a smoothie and be like, "Here, have this smoothie," and it's like just garlic, and I'm like,
not just garlic.
but it's like so much garlic. Even Nate, it's not me being picky. Nate's like, even the other day, I was putting a lot of garlic in something. He was like, "You're acting like you're making your parents' smoothie." Stop, because I was putting so much garlic.
Yeah, I know my mom is 92. Look, and she used to eat eggs, like she replaced salt with the chopped garlic that you buy in a jar. You know, the little minced garlic.
Mhm.
So anyway, it got to where it every time I can't stand the smell of garlic. So every time I walked in the house, it smelled like it. So she would eat it, you know, like with eggs and garlic. And instead of butter, it would be toast with garlic spread on it. And I couldn't stand it. So I said, you know, you stink. So what did she say? Well, go ahead. I'll quit eating it. I'm just gonna die. I'm
It is so healthy for you, but
just gonna drop dead.
we put it
That's
on
what she said. I'm
everything.
just gonna drop dead.
We put it on avocados. We put it in
Yeah,
make
and it's good
avocado
for you.
toast. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah,
It's
because
very good.
my sister lives alone, so she doesn't have to endure me having a because my mama, you know, I live here.
Yeah.
But when I walk into my sister's house, I'll say, "Oh, you eating garlic?" And she's now gotten on the kick of garlic, and she smells of it, and I'll ask my mom. I said, "You didn't smell her?" And my mama, no, she don't. But my
Because
mama likes garlic.
when you eat it, you can't smell it on somebody else, which is why I always give it to my husband when I eat it. And he always gives it to me when he eats it. But like if we have an appointment, we have a doctor's appointment, or if I know I'm going out to eat with my cousin for the weekend, I won't eat it for 2 or 3 days, as a courtesy.
As a cur But
Because
I
we're
mean,
used to
I
that.
know the health benefits, but
Yeah.
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 I love
Another,
Yeah, Mindy
I
But
loves
love
I know I probably do smell because I remember when I would eat crawfish. I love crawfish. I don't eat it anymore, but years ago, and I would always eat the garlic out of the crawfish, and my husband would say, "Patty, it is just coming out of your pores." He said, it's just coming out of your pores." Because I could shower, brush my teeth, use mouthwash, go get in bed. And he's like, "I cannot even lay next to you."
No, I've heard people that eat garlic out of crawfish bowls always reek of.
Yeah, just he would say he's like, the shower didn't do any good. It's just coming out of your pores. So
another thing I was gonna say is this one is not necessarily health related, but it has two benefits. If you know how sometimes if you wake up and you have like a puffy face, to get that down, well, I have two different methods, but the quickest, fastest, easiest way is just get a big bowl of water, cold water, and put a bunch of ice in it and dunk your face like, repeatedly, and it makes all of it like less puffy. It makes your skin look a lot like more even and everything. And doing that also is a remedy for like anxiety and like panic attacks too,
oh
like because it
wow.
helps center you because it's like the cold water, like
Focuses.
when I had really bad anxiety, I would do that every morning. I did not miss a morning, and now I don't do it as much. But yeah, it's like a pretty quick way to do it. And then and it feels really good. Like it's shocking at first, but once you get used to it, I don't know, like feels really good. And then another way to do it is for the inflammation is to do like lymphatic drainage massages on your face, and that helps with like um the puffiness, but also helps with like helping with your jawline. Cause I will like literally do one of these and then all of a sudden my jawline is like more defined and like my face is like less puffy and whatever. That I do a YouTube video, it takes like 15 minutes. So it's like, a little more time consuming. But that I like, and I think that probably helps with anxiety too, because you're kind of massaging your face and like kind of relaxing. But yeah, I love because I don't like having a puffy face, but sometimes if I don't get a lot of sleep, you can tell. Well, and I say a lot, like if I don't get like 7 to 8 hours at least, my face is puffy, and I don't like that. And so I do that stuff to get rid of it.
I must always have a fat face because I do not have a puffy face ever. It's always the same.
Well, it probably depends on like the person and different.
Have you ever used the ice roller, Charlie?
Mindy has one of those.
No, but I've heard about those.
What is it called?
Ice roller. It's like you put it in the freezer and it's a
Ball of ice.
yeah, and you like roll it on your face.
Mindy
Oh,
takes a
wow.
lot better care of her skin than I do.
Because I
Does
had
it-
acne. I have
Yeah.
to.
I've never heard of that.
Oh my gosh, I should go grab it right now. It's
Go.
incredible.
Yeah, she
Really?
loves
That feels relaxing. I feel like the motion.
Yeah, I have the like rolling part. I mean the handle in here, but the ice part is in the freezer.
Yeah, because her and
Oh.
my sister both had acne growing up, so they're very diligent and very careful with their skin. I didn't have acne growing up, so I won't wash my face when I go to bed tonight. I don't care.
Oh no. Oh God, I have to. I'll
I
have
know.
pimples. I have pimples right now.
I do too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have to wash it.
yeah. So
Mhm.
it's different different
Mhm.
things for different people. But I see she takes very good care of her skin.
I know, and you don't, and
No.
still have good skin. So I'm hoping the genes, I won't have many wrinkles because you
But
don't do anything.
I do have wrinkles, but
Not
I
many,
still
though.
don't. And I don't have. I've never had a problem with acne.
Another remedy for like if you're nervous about something or if you have anxiety about something, or if you're worrying, this always works for me. Like it's weird how much it works. You write down, like, let's say you have like this event or you have this situation or whatever. You literally write it down like it's already happened and you describe exactly the way it has happened, exactly the way you want it to happen. And I find the more detail, the better. So I'll be like, today we went here and it like the weather, this was the temperature and there were fall leaves and Nate and we stopped here first and we were making jokes and laughing and then I did this thing that was like really worrying me and I like write it all in detail and then it takes all the anxiety away. Like I don't know why then I'm actually doing it. It's almost like it's already happened in the way that I've written out. I think it's called scripting and I didn't make it up.
Oh, I never.
But it really helps like if you like write it all out exactly the way you want it to go, then it kind of like takes the anxiety away from so it's like a home it's like that's I would say that's like a home remedy too for like
But you
worries.
do it like how far in advance do you do it? Like how
I
far in advance do like if you got it? How far in advance do you write down what you hope to happen?
I think it depends because if it's something that's really bothering you, then I feel like do it every day. Like so that you don't have to be tortured by it. If you know what I mean, like leading up to it. I think for most of my stuff I just did it like the day before. But even involving like other people, like there was like an event and I was worried about like the people. Like I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be, horrific with these people and all this stuff. My therapist is like, don't say that. Like write down exactly how you want it, how you want to feel, exactly how you want. And then it was over and I was like, that really was good. Like there was really nothing bad that happened. Like and normally it would be bad. But it almost like calms you down and like, it can't like change things, but like it kind of like grounds you so that you're not like concerned about it.
That's good.
Okay. Yeah, that is good.
I've seen this home remedy, but I've never actually done it, but I see it all the time with people putting onions in their socks like at night before they go to sleep. And it's apparent like you
A
put
detox.
you like slice the onion, put it in your sock when you go to sleep, and apparently when you wake up, like the onion has like pulled out all the impurities and toxins and the onion will be like brown or black like, but I've never actually done it, but I see it all the time.
Me
I'd have to
too.
do it to believe it.
I would think you would smell worse than me and my garlic.
That's why I haven't done it because I'm afraid my feet are gonna smell like onions for days. Like I'm like, and I heard potatoes do that too, but you have
Oh
to
yeah,
cut
I've
it.
seen potatoes too.
But
Mhm.
potatoes will turn brown just from cutting them.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
People
if
say
you
it makes them
if you
feel better.
I
if you
remember
cut them and put them on the counter and you don't cook them right away, they're going to turn
they're gonna
brown
turn
anyway.
brown.
So
But I remember when I was younger, a raw potato slice with salt on it was good for a hangover.
eating it,
Eating it.
eating
Yeah,
it.
you eat it raw potato because I like raw potatoes. So raw potato and you put salt on it, and that's good for a hangover.
Oh wow, I didn't even know you could eat raw potatoes.
Oh well, we do. So
I didn't know you could either, actually.
I didn't know that.
yeah. Now you're gonna tell me they carry worms
Or
I'm
cyanide.
not telling you that.
or cyanide.
Because everything apparently
Oh,
has cyanide.
but yeah,
That
raw
yeah.
potato. Yeah,
Have I
and-
talked about that on the podcast yet?
No.
No.
my mama, even to she, 92, yes, if she gets an upset stomach or feels icky, she'll peel a potato, cut it up in slices and put salt on it.
But
Wow.
that is the thing We are not
don't-
medical
yeah.
providers or experts of
That's
anything.
right. Oh yeah, no.
We do not take this. You probably should not even do any of this stuff, honestly.
Yeah.
but that's one of the things you should be careful about, like what Mindy was saying about
About the cherry pits and stuff.
yeah, Mindy,
Yeah.
you haven't said that yet.
Yeah, I tell everybody this now. This is like my Roman Empire. This is my thing that I think about all the time because I was watching a TV show and the wife killed her husband and poisoned him, and while he's dying, he asks her how, and she's like, "Oh, honey, I crushed cherry pits in your coffee." And I like heard that and I'm like, there's no way it's that simple to poison someone. So I like Google it. I'm like, are cherry pits poisonous? Cherry pits create cyanide when they are crushed. If you just if you just swallow a cherry pit whole, you're fine. But if it's the crushing of it that
That releases.
it releases cyanide, and it's the same with apple seeds too.
I didn't know apple seeds.
Oh, I've eaten apple seeds. I didn't know that.
Did you
you
chew
chew
them
'em?
or did you just swallow them?
I would think I chewed them.
But it has to be like a certain amount at a time.
Yeah, I probably
Yeah, I
didn't
think
eat
like for
that.
cherry pits, I think it depended on the type of cherry, but it ranged from like 6 to 12 pits, which still isn't a
That's
lot.
not a lot.
A
Yeah.
Like
lot.
that's less than a pack of cherries, but most
Yeah.
people aren't chewing cherry
yeah,
pits.
because they are hard.
Yeah.
They're yeah.
And
I
even
think
for
I think you might have told us that. I can't remember. Not that it's a big deal. I liked hearing it again, but
No, I think
didn't
I
know
might
if
have told you.
Isn't it ironic that she finds out how to kill with cherries? Wayne always had cherries in his refrigerator. How did I not kill him?
It was so easy. It was right there.
I know it was right there, but I didn't discover that until we had broken up.
it needs to be
Oh.
more awareness,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
awareness.
Yeah.
No, because that's scary because that dying by cyanide is one of my number one biggest fears. I'm always afraid somebody's poisoning me because they actually happen. If you watch Forensic Files through, you'll see that people poison people with cyanide a lot. And now I know I'm even more scared actually now that I know how easy, because I used to think it was you had to go buy it somewhere. I had no
too.
idea.
Me too.
Now
Trust
you see why it's so common because you just get it from cherries.
You go and you can buy cherries at Walmart. Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
so and
Probably
that's
need to cut all this out.
Yeah.
you can't do any of that. Like you can't, like you get poisoned by cyanide. That's it. You have a horrible. Do you know how horrible? Okay, sorry,
Yeah, it's a
guys, but
horrible death.
it's a
yeah.
horrible death, and they can do nothing but for you. Does anybody else have like other?
Well, the cherries, bringing up the cherries, I used to drink tart cherry juice to help me sleep, and it would always work
Oh,
very
I never
good.
heard of
I've
that.
seen that on Instagram.
Yeah, that's
Tart-
like a
tart
trend
cherry
right
juice.
now. It's
Tart
like
Oh.
cherry juice?
Yeah.
it's the
Mhm.
trend now to make like a sleepy girl mocktail and have like your tart cherry juice with like a little like sparkling water, like making a little
Sounds
helps
good.
you
It's
go
better
sleep.
than melatonin.
I
Do you-
only did 4 ounces of it because I didn't want to get up in the middle of the night to pee. So I only did 4 ounces of it. And within 30 minutes, I was ready to go to bed. Melatonin has the opposite effect on me.
Oh, I like melatonin.
I cannot sleep at all. And I
Ever.
remember taking it and thinking, Charles went out of town once for work. And I said, oh, well, I'm not going to be able to sleep without him. Okay, I'll take the melatonin. I took the melatonin and I was up all night. I was like, okay, maybe I'm nervous. I'll take the melatonin again the next night. I took it. I was up all night again. The third night, I was like, okay, I'm exhausted. I know the melatonin is going to work tonight. The third night, I was up all night again. I was like, it has to be the melatonin keeping me awake because I know I'm exhausted.
Yeah, 'cause
Stop
I
taking
love
the melatonin and I slept because I was exhausted.
Now, I used to give Wayne and my sister can't take melatonin because it gives them nightmares. I sleep just great with melatonin.
Oh,
I
yeah.
sleep
Really?
horribly.
They sleep, but they dream.
I sleep
It
horribly
gave
with
me
mel-
a restless leg too. Like my legs kept jumping. So I just said,
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
not gonna.
So your
I'm
body
not
might
gonna
not need
do
because melatonin replaces serotonin in your body, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
So
But
you must not need.
yeah, I was not gonna sleep because he was not there.
Right.
That was really the only reason. But I know that the tart cherry worked really well. And now I do magnesium.
Try that.
Yes, that
in
helps.
Magnesium, I had
Yeah.
my knee was hurting and I rubbed some magnesium gel on it right before I went to bed because my knee was really hurting very bad. And I noticed I slept really good. I got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and I could barely make it to the bathroom and back because I was so tired. Got back in bed and went right back to sleep. And normally if I wake up, have to
You're-
go to the bathroom, I'm up for 2-3 hours before I can fall back asleep. And with that magnesium, I could barely, make it there and back with, trying to keep myself awake.
Yeah,
And so
man.
now I try to do it. It's like if I have any ache or pain, I put that magnesium on it and I sleep really well. So
It
Oh, we got
helps.
magnesium pills in there.
It helps, yeah, to take. I have gummies. It helps with sleeping, but it also helps with migraines and headaches. It helps prevent them
Oh,
because it
wow.
relaxes the whole body. So I started taking them
Oh,
every night back in November or December. And I feel like it's really helped a lot because it's like when your stress levels are high, it helps like bring them down. Because like stress is like a trigger for like migraines and headaches. And it just relaxes you. And it's just, like, yeah, I feel like it works. And I've seen that online too. People say that magnesium helps. I don't know if it's like maybe people have I think there's maybe like partially people have a deficiency who
I
get.
think that's what it was for me. I had a deficiency. And so it just not only got rid of the pain, but it helped me sleep because it helped with that deficiency I was having that I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some in there. I'm taking one as soon as we hang up.
This is not a homemade. This is a this is like a semi-home recipe or remedy that Mindy does that I started doing is emergency.
Oh my gosh. I swear by emergency.
We got it from Sam's. It's in the thing. Yeah.
And it works. I really feel like it works.
It does. And yeah, that's not really much of a home remedy, I guess, because it is like a
But I don't
store-bought
use it.
thing. But anytime I'm like even slightly feeling like, oh, I don't feel quite right, emergency. Like I drink it and I'll like drink it every morning and I feel like it will make you feel better if you're not feeling well, but then if you just feel off, it'll prevent you from feeling worse.
I
Mm.
take it every day and I do have this cough, but I don't feel bad. Like
Mhm.
I feel I have all my energy. I don't have all I have is this. It's my voice and it doesn't even hurt actually. It's just that it's like a cough,
Mhm.
And I take it every day and I feel like it's because I take it.
Another thing that I drank when I had allergies real bad, I used to have allergies so very, very bad. And a friend of mine started selling this mangosteen juice. It's not a mango, it's a mangosteen. It's a certain fruit from the Pacific Islands. And I got rid of my allergies with that mangosteen juice.
And where you found
Mm.
that at? My sister has real severe allergies.
She used to sell it, but a couple of weeks ago I found it on Amazon.
Yes.
Mangosteen.
Mangosteen juice.
It's
Yeah.
good for
And
your immune system too.
yeah, you really only do like an ounce a day, but when I was really sick and going through the allergies with the season changes, I did 3 ounces a day for several days, and then I went back to the 1 ounces. And I used to get sick 2 to 3 times a year, and each one would last a long time with the allergy. I'm not talking about flu or anything.
Yeah.
And it would be in my bronchial tubes, it would be in my limbs, it would be in my ears, my eyes would water. And that mangosteen, it just knocked all of it out. I don't hardly ever, I might get a little irritation, when the seasons change, but not, I don't get sick. And I'm certainly not sick for 2 weeks.
Well, she used to not be able to go to someone's house if they had a cat because she was so allergic to cats.
My
And now
eyes
she
would
visits
swell.
us for like 2 weeks, and Winston does not bother her at all.
Yeah. I couldn't even stop at a red light if they were cutting the grass on the neutral ground. It would come in through the air conditioner and immediately everything would just start closing up. I just had, just really bad
So
allergies.
you
And
take it regularly now, like all the time,
I
or no, just
I couldn't
allergies?
find it for a long time. So I haven't taken it for years and the allergies really have stayed away. But I happened to find it on Amazon about 3 weeks ago. And so I started taking it again. So
And it's
my
a
husband and I
liquid,
both take it.
liquid.
And it tastes good.
It's liquid, yeah. It's a little pricey, but
Oh, she has no, yeah.
it's medicinal is the
Yeah.
way I look at it. It's like, if it's gonna
Yeah.
keep me healthy.
Another one, I don't know if this is necessarily a home remedy, but I like you know how with Vicks you're supposed to put that on your chest like when you're feeling bad? I also put it in my nose so that I'm like constantly smelling it.
Yes, I do that.
Oh, Vicks is
I
wonderful.
put it under my nose. I don't put it in my
Oh,
nose.
I
but-
put it in there. So I'm like, it's not.
Yeah, I put it like right here. I don't go in.
I put it like
We put it everywhere.
in there.
We don't eat it. I've seen on commercials where there was a comedian, a black comedian, I can't think of who he is, but his mama used to make him eat the Vicks Av, eat it.
I remember reading about a football player that did that.
Yeah,
He would put it up in his nose, and I don't know about eating it, but he would put it all up in his nose, and I was like, "Oh, that's a good idea." So I went and read the label and said, "Yeah, don't do that."
Yeah, no, but yeah.
Well, that's also a remedy for mom, like, she has allergies for like really strong scents like perfumes and stuff. And when she was working in the office, she would put just a little bit right below her nose, and it blocked the scent because she was
From the perfumes, yeah.
strong smell
Oh,
was
I'm
there.
gonna have to tell my sister that because when we go to red, white, and blue, different smells. Because you go to red, white, and blue, you get all kind of scents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good
Yeah, I would
idea.
just put it right under there, and then I couldn't smell the perfume, and it didn't bother me.
Okay. Because you can't smell that fake plastic either. If you go to a brand new store and they have that cheap plastic
Oh,
shoes or whatever,
gosh.
there's a reaction
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, the new clothes smell would bother me too.
Oh,
Mm.
goodness.
Just smelling new clothes. I guess they were wrapped up in plastic. I
Yeah.
guess when they were
Brand
shipped, I guess. So I guess it wasn't really the clothes, it was the plastic on the clothes. And I
We
just
could-
remember,
We
I
couldn't have
put
been friends
headache.
because I smelled of that plastic.
Well, Beatrice doesn't go anywhere without perfume. So she would always be one, that would have the perfume, but she actually saw the effects the perfume had on me,
Yeah.
where I think somebody actually sprayed it in the office. They didn't just wear it, they sprayed it in the office, and I just, my face went white. It was
Immediate.
terrible. It was terrible. My stomach started turning. I couldn't breathe. And she saw that and she's like, "Oh yeah, I've, Patty." And so she's very protective of me too. She would never let anybody have perfume come around. Maybe like, okay,
She
'cause
told
I
you
would,
about the Big Sap?
no, I don't think. You know what she told me about? She told me about the Kleenex that they used to have the Vicks Salve in the Kleenex. You remember that? I don't
Yes.
think they make that
They
anymore.
do.
No, I remember those.
They
Oh, I
still
can't
have that.
find them.
I buy
Really?
for the winter, yeah.
I have
I
not
didn't know
been,
they
I've
still
been
made
looking for them. So, but when she told me about the Kleenex, I just got the idea, oh, let me put it under my nose and see if that works.
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
I've put Vicks on my feet, like how they say the onions. I've done Vicks on my feet and then the sock when I go to sleep.
Yeah.
Did that make a
Yes.
difference?
With feet.
I think it did. Yeah. I think I got that from Vicky. I'm pretty sure she's the one that told me to do it.
Yeah, the feet are good. Like I'll put oils on my feet. Like if they're like known for like, immune. If I'm sick, like I did that last night and put socks on.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have to put for the oil, I don't know if you have to put socks on, but I do because I don't want Frankie licking it because I don't know.
And it's probably for the sheets if it's not for the oils. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Oh,
know,
and
Yeah,
for
but-
sunburns, my mama used to canned cream or vinegar for sunburns.
what kind
Vinegar?
of cream?
Canned cream, evaporated milk or vinegar.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
My mom used to always put Noxzema,
Oh,
put
yeah.
Noxzema all over it, and it would be gone the next day.
Yeah. My mama was the
Milk does, yeah, milk. I think I've done milk before actually.
yeah, it was, evaporated milk, which we call canned cream, or vinegar. And so vinegar to me is like, except Noxzema smells a lot better than vinegar.
All right, so should we ask our
So all of this is just what we do, not that we're recommending any of it. You make your own decisions,
Yeah.
right?
Especially not the cyanide.
Yeah.
yeah, just avoid it. I'm now like I'm never buying cherries. I don't want those in the house.
I might want them in the house,
How
you
could
know.
something so delicious be that deadly? If you think about it.
Yeah.
And cherries and apple seeds weren't the only two things. Those were just the most common. There's a bunch of other foods that were on the list that I was looking at that turn into cyanide in your body, but
Wow.
they were not as common as cherry seeds and apple seeds.
Yeah, that's scary to think about how easily accessible.
I know.
And people do like one of the forensic files, he put cyanide in he pretended to be the water delivery guy or something. And those like Kentwood or whatever those water,
Dispensers?
yeah. He put it in the water dispenser because he wanted to kill his like wife or his ex-girlfriend or something. And thinking she would drink it, but actually someone drank it before in the office and literally died right there on the floor in the office. The woman never even that was intended didn't even. So sometimes I'm like, I don't have an enemy that would do that, but other people might. And I'm like,
Oh gosh, Charlie.
It's a whole thing. I'm like,
Imagine even being in contact or in the vicinity of someone that is capable of that kind of murder.
Did y'all watch the Good Doctor or the Good Nurse, whatever? The
I
Netflix
started. You
special.
told me about it.
Oh yeah, I might have told you not to watch it.
Yeah.
What was
But
it about?
it was this. I can't remember if it was a nurse or a doctor. I think it was a nurse that would go into the like storage where all the IV bags are and just randomly.
Yeah, I saw
I
that.
can't remember what they were putting
Oh,
into it.
I don't think I saw that, but I saw the story on something.
Oh yeah. Killed
Yes.
like they don't even know how many
Yeah,
people
they still don't know how many people that actually died.
but it
from
was hundreds, but
Mhm.
they don't know an exact number because they didn't realize it was happening. They thought these people like they didn't know why these people were dying, so they
Yeah.
couldn't really. And he had been doing it at multiple hospitals because he kept
Mhm.
being fired because like something was off, but they couldn't figure out what it was. So he just kept going from hospital to hospital, and his reasoning was just like, I wanted to see when I would get caught. Like he had no purpose behind
Yeah.
it, no
Those
reason.
are called angels of death. when
Yeah,
it's-
and they
Mhm.
figured out it was him, but then they couldn't figure out how he was doing it, and then they found the IV bags in the storage, right? In the storage
Mhm.
room.
He's
Yeah.
not the one that was doing the air because I know there was another nurse who would because if you get inject like let's say they go
Yeah,
to like
air-
inject you.
With an air
yeah.
bubble.
Yeah, there was a nurse doing that too. I think that might have been a different that would do the
Yeah,
air.
because to me, an angel of death, those people are killing the ones that they know they're gonna die. They're in agony. I'm the angel of death. These people are diabolical because they're
Yeah.
they don't care who. This person could have just had a baby. They're gonna get
Yeah, there was no. They were just doing it to the IV bags
yeah.
before the IV bags were assigned to
They
anyone.
didn't
They had
even
no
know
idea
who
who
he
They
was
was
gonna
didn't
gonna
get
know
it.
get.
who they were
Yeah.
killing. You see,
Yeah.
not to, be disagreeing with you, Charlie, but yeah, to me, an angel of death is somebody that, oh yeah,
Merciful. It's but to considered merciful.
right. Even though they didn't request it, they're thinking, oh goodness, they're in for the long haul. This is,
Yeah.
just delayed death. Let me take them out of their misery.
Okay. Well, thank you.
And this is why we do home remedies so that we
Don't have to go to the
Yeah.
doctor. Yeah.
All right, you got a question for us?
Yes, we have a question. So, Mom, you go on mute and turn your
I
volume
go on
down.
mute. I
Oh,
go
yeah.
on mute.
So one of our listeners wrote a question, and the question is, knowing what you know now, if you could tell yourself something when you were in your 20s, what advice would you give to yourself then?
Okay, I don't know, but you know what I thought of today is that if I could go back to high school, I would join ROTC. But back when I was in high school, that was a lame, only nerds did ROTC. I would do ROTC. If I had to go back to my 20s and do something different,
You don't have to do something different, but like what advice or what would you tell yourself? You're going back to yourself in your 20s.
well, first, if I had enjoy your body at your 20s, because no matter what, it's going to get worse. That body at 20 is the best body you're going to have.
All right.
Yeah. In your 20s, oh, yeah, you're fearless. As you age, with every year, you get a little bit more fearful. So enjoy. Yeah. Yeah. Just enjoy it. Enjoy it. Enjoy how you look right now. I don't care if you got to put on a bikini, do it now because you're not going to be putting on a bikini at 50.
All right, that's time. Sorry, that ROTC one was so funny because it was just so random and so specific.
But I thought about it today, driving home from school. I mean, driving home from work. I saw the little ROTC people waiting out, being picked to be picked up, and I thought, when I was in high school, that was such a no. Only the nerds was in ROTC, and if I could go back to school, I would join ROTC because young people need focus, and to me, those people did the best. In my opinion, I would think they did the best.
All right, Mom.
I wouldn't have joined ROTC, but I would have dated one of them if I could go back.
All right. All right. Go ahead, Mindy.
Okay, the question is, knowing what you know now, if you could go back and give advice to yourself in your 20s, what advice would you give yourself?
Don't take everything so seriously. Lighten up. Look at the good, try to look for the good, and you don't have to win everything. You don't have to win everything. You don't want to try to lose, but sometimes being neutral is fine. Not winning or losing. That's what I would tell myself. And be kind.
You come across as so wise. I come across as a dipshit.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
The first thing
couldn't-
she said so quickly, I would join our ROTC.
Literally with so much passion. She said, I thought about this today. If I was in high school, join ROTC.
Joy, I do. I think every child should. I think, especially those delinquents that have a bad home life, join ROTC and wear a bikini.
Not at the same time.
You come across as so wise. I was looking at the two parents and they God, that blonde is an idiot.
No.
Nobody thinks that.
Nobody thinks that. That's right.
I do.
This child. How did I have this child?
I don't know.
Oh, she's a genius. She's a genius. And she came from pumpkins.
And she didn't even do ROTC. All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening, and stay tuned next week for another episode. And yeah, bye.
Remember, don't try these at home.
I didn't know you could do that. I knew you could do things with your leg, but with your eyeballs.